Hello there, Mike here with another whatever this is, another video. So I am probably about an hour and a half away from doing what is referred to in my business as a sprint demo. So I work as a software engineer. I work on a platform called Salesforce. Salesforce is a customer relationship management system at its core. That's really how it started. It's a lot more than that now. I work as an independent contractor, but I am working for a specific company right now, and we work in the Agile software development lifecycle process. If you've never heard of that, it means, and this is really just me distilling it down as much as I possibly can. The gist of it is you work in these small iterative cycles to develop working code and push it across the finish line so that you can show progress frequently and often. And we're about to demo some of the work that we've done in the past 2 weeks and let them know how it works. It may not be super exciting if you're not into that kind of stuff, but it's a little bit of a peek into my day, and I'll give you sort of the brief version of how it goes. I'm going to see if I can position my camera to where it's right underneath my webcam so you get a little bit of a perspective on what my audience is seeing. My audience, I'm remote. They are in another state. They're going to be sitting in a conference room listening to what I'm saying. My entire team pitches in, so my part is to talk about what I worked on for the past 2 weeks and demo how that works. Field any questions or concerns that they have, then I just move on to the next one. It's actually a really great experience because it can feel pretty rewarding to get that immediate feedback to, what you've done for the past couple of weeks and what you need to improve in the next cycle. Okay, excellent. So I've got a couple of items in my shopping cart already. I've added a storm door assembly, a storm door handle assembly. I've got the color or finish of oil rubbed bronze, which is the most expensive option here on my list because nothing but the best for me with my storm door handle assemblies. I've got a patio door roller in my cart, but I'm also looking to make this a mixed order. So I'm just gonna go ahead and browse. So the objective here that we've got is that we want to be able to take a mixed order consisting of parts of various types, bring them into our checkout system, pay for that order, and feel as though we're able to do that in a way that doesn't surface any errors to the screen, and then get some sort of a validation or confirmation on screen to suggest that our order has been successful. So let me go ahead and demo that now. I'll just click that checkout button. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. That's another portion of the checkout system that is complete and is working with a live integration. It's seeing my shipping address, it's looking at where the products are shipping from and where they're shipping to, and it does do an estimated calculation on shipping tax. Thank you, Mark. But ultimately what we end up seeing here is sort of a recap of the order, a recap of your billing and shipping details. You've got the total amount paid here up at the top. So that pretty much sums up what I need to demo for you this afternoon. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns before we hand it off to somebody else? Okay, so the demo is still in progress, and it went okay. It went okay. I get a little nervous when I do that stuff. Fortunately, though, I have a really great team that I'm working with. I'm really grateful for them. Just really sharp people with lots and lots of company history. They really know how the data flows. They understand how the company works. And then, we're demoing to an audience that seems to really appreciate our work. They've got a lot of questions on how things work and how things maybe are supposed to go. And they bring those questions up every time. And we've got a really good team that absorbs those questions and handles them. So all in all, pretty good demo. I was happy. Well, with my demo done and the workday over, it's time to sort of live up to some of my other obligations for the new year. Get a little bit of exercise, so I'm out for a walk. Just a walk, quick walk in the neighborhood. I go about 2.5, 3 miles, I think it is. So I'm actually really grateful to have the gig that I have right now. As an independent contractor, you sometimes have to kind of take whatever comes your way. But where I am right now is actually quite good. Yeah, the pay is actually really good. The people that I work with are awesome. The company is rock solid. The work's challenging, but it's really good. Challenging in a good way. So I'm really blessed. Yeah, that demo today, it went okay. I'd say my part went okay. I wish we had done more. But overall it was good, and I'm happy. So I'll celebrate my little slice of success today with a walk. Part of what my wife and I want to do now that she's no longer going through those cancer treatments is we want to get healthy, because one of the ways that we dealt with all this bad news was by finding a lot of comfort in junk food, which, as it turns out, starts to affect your body. Very quickly, in fact. Starts to affect your body, your shape, of course, meaning your weight, how you look, but also how you feel. So now that all that stuff is behind us, we just want to prioritize getting healthy, so we're trying to eat right and move our bodies more. So I'm solo today, but Rachel's likely going to be with me in the future. So I've got to make about 2 laps around my neighborhood and the adjacent neighborhood. We have like this sort of big route that we take when we go on these walks. And it ends up working out. If you do 2 laps, it's close to about 3 miles or so. There's the Popo. Popo's making a Yui right here. There they go. Off they go to bust somebody. Not me. Not me. I'll run. Yeah, no, it's a nice distance, and if we maintain a pace, it ends up being pretty decent exercise. Burn about, oh shoot, I don't remember. I was calculating at one point, but I want to say it's somewhere in the neighborhood of about 300 calories or so, which is not too bad. More calories I can burn, the better. So that's what we're doing. And then after my walk, then I pretty much can conclude my day. The phone call with a friend who is working with me to set up a podcast. Oh, here come the attack dogs. They're gonna get me. So see if we can get that podcast going. I'm trying to do this AI YouTube channel, and I want to augment that work with a podcast on the same subject, but with a co-host, a friend of mine named Brian, great guy. So hopefully we can get that worked out today and get that going. Anyway, thanks for walking with me. Okay, almost time to wrap up the day. I just want to have that quick phone call with my good friend Brian, see if we can talk a little bit about this podcast, and I'm just going to try and see if I can get him on board. He sounds interested. I just want to see if I can have a quick phone call and sell it. I know who that is. Hello. How's it going? I'm good. The topics that I would want to cover are basically all things AI, and I've tried to kind of bullet point that in my head so I can, give you some examples. So here's what I'd want you to consider. I had a conversation with Keith about this the other day, and it was interesting hearing it from his perspective, but I'd love to talk about AI for creativity, right? So the generative AI for imagery and video, like how good is it? I showed him something that I did, and it's this old movie theater that I used to work at back in the 90s that's gone. And I found like this super low res image of it. Like somebody took a picture of it from the parking lot. Super old, crappy photo, like, standard resolution, pixelated and nasty looking. And I had AI clean it up and it looked sharp as heck, right? And then I turned it into a video and I had like 80s and 90s cars driving by and it looks freaking real. It looks so freaking good. I will. No, it's like really, really good, right? So I would love to talk about stuff like that and how people are using it, but also some of the more controversial aspects of it, like the material that's used for machine learning to kind of build up its abilities. That's a controversial subject, and there are a lot of headlines on that. So stuff like that, but also more in our wheelhouse as well. So AI for productivity, specifically surrounding generating code. So, vibe coding, the benefits of it, the drawbacks, some use cases and demos. I feel like we'd be loaded with stuff that we could share and talk about. AI headlines. There are AI headlines every single day. Like what's going on in AI? What's going on in the stock market related to AI? What are the big players? Who are the enemy? So I'd love to talk about that. I feel like, you could just go off on stuff like that. And then AI-related legislation, that I feel is something that people just aren't talking about enough. If you really kind of keep your ear to the ground, you'll see that there are leaders out there, people like Bernie Sanders. I don't know if you follow him at all. Bernie Sanders is out there talking about this stuff, He's got a lot of concerns about the billionaire class really sort of owning AI and kind of keeping it to themselves, and, legislation for making sure that it's accessible, making sure that as it starts to impact people's jobs, we are mitigating the results of that. So I feel like there's All right, we're going to do this. All right. Okay. We'll stay in touch. Sure will. Okay. All right, man. Bye. Yes. Okay, so good news there. It's going to happen. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.